New year, new me, baby. Two, one. Happy New Year! People, we're not doing any of that this year. Okay, I'm being dramatic. I'm actually kind of excited for New Year's. Because like almost everyone in this earth, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. I don't know about you, but in the past, I've made New Year's resolutions and I always forget them by February. And usually my resolutions have something to do with fitness and me trying to eat healthier or work out more. And that usually stops like mid-February, which is why all the gyms become empty. But anyway, if you're the type to write them down and refer to them all year long and really stick with them, I'm going to give you a few reasons why you should come to the other dark side and not have any resolutions for 2021. Not that I'm trying to promote not having goals, because having goals is a very good thing, but if this pandemic has been a struggle for you like the way it has been for most people, adding an extra layer of pressure with super strict, crazy, unattainable, impossible resolutions is just not it, and not of the time. Oh, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Sammy and I make New York City vlogs and NYU related content about my experience as a student. Subscribe to my channel for weekly videos, and I guess according to this video topic, the occasional life advice video. Why should you trust my advice? Why should you watch this video? Because I'm gonna give you some classified information, a different perspective. I'm gonna make things click. I don't know if I should wear this. Is it cute? Can you take me seriously if I keep wearing this? Just, ugh. The first reason why you should not make any resolutions for 2021 is an obvious one. Making resolutions right now is too much pressure. Yes, I think we should all be excited to move on from 2020, not necessarily making 2020 not count because it was a very important year. But yes, I think we should be excited and we should celebrate new beginnings. Making extra goals that are unattainable, considering we're still gonna be in a pandemic at the beginning of next year, is just too much pressure. You might be like, why? I mean, the pandemic's gonna be gone, like no more masks. 2021 equals no COVID. With all the regulations that are still going to be in place, I have a feeling that January through March, it's still going to look very similar to what October, November, and December looked like. We know what specific rules we have to follow in public. We know how to be careful. A lot of us are making testing more a part of our lives, but we're still gonna be in a pandemic, sadly, even though the vaccine is coming. So instead, on to my second point, I think we should reflect on what we have learned in 2020. Note it, but also not put too much pressure to fix every single thing that we didn't like about ourselves. That was kind of a long point. 2020 felt like it didn't count for a lot of us. We just want to cancel it. We want to exit off. We want to throw away our calendars. And a lot of us feel so behind in work, in school, and just everything. Maybe you don't feel fit, maybe you don't feel healthy, you spend too much time on social media, whatever it is. First, I just want to say, at least we're all in it together and we're all going through the same thing. Another side note, I feel like I'm going all over the place. But if people look like if their life is completely together in all of those aspects that I just named, and in more places in their life on social media, we're not seeing all of it. Nobody's gonna post their worst moments on social media. And I'm sure you've heard that so many times, but we need to hear it again. We're all guilty of it and we fall for it time and time again. And sometimes if we're failing in that aspect of our lives, it can make us feel really insecure or feel like we're not doing enough. But it's not true. Everybody is struggling, especially right now. I also just like keep clapping every time I try and make a point. I'm like, Realizing and being able to point out the specific things that you learned and that you're proud of and that you're not proud of during 2020 is the first step. This is a crazy time, and I think it's so healthy to limit ourselves to just that. For example, something that I learned about myself is that I have a really hard time relaxing or taking time off without having a screen in front of me. When I'm not editing, because I like to edit my videos during my free time, my favorite pastime is watching TV or watching YouTube videos laying down. And I've noticed that in every single break that I have, I can't just lay down and like stare at the ceiling because my thoughts will wander and I automatically want to get a laptop and put it in front of me and like play a video. Even if the video is so uninteresting, like I have been so deep into YouTube that I have sat through completely boring videos, but I do it just because I'm addicted to having a screen in front of me. But now I've noticed that and I've reflected on it, and I'm not necessarily going to put like a screen timer on my phone or on my Instagram because it's kind of unrealistic from December 31st to January 1st to just completely cut my screen time to 30 minutes a day, especially if we're going to continue spending a lot of our time indoors. So it's completely unrealistic to hold myself to that really strict standard. So little by little, I want to set some small goals here and there and just try to focus more on that and notice when I'm gravitating towards my laptop to grab it. And maybe more often, I'll try to put my laptop in a drawer so that I can just lay down without a screen in front of me. So yes, the last thing that I want to say with this point is to also just focus on the positive things that you've learned about 2020 and to just carry that on, but not have a specific deadline of December 31st to stop doing all those negative things that you do. Instead, I think we should make post-pandemic resolutions. An obvious one for this can be traveling. There's so many restrictions right now and it's difficult to travel without feeling really uneasy and putting other people in danger. Even a small trip after the pandemic is over would be so nice. Something fun with friends and family could be really good to look forward to. Another mini post-pandemic resolution that I have is to have a really big get-together with family. Now I've had to see family members like on separate occasions, and it's usually a smaller group of people just because you also don't know other people's comfort levels with the pandemic and it gets really awkward, and it's just safer to see smaller groups of people at a time. So it would be so nice to just have a big family get-together and to get to reunite with everyone without masks. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember what it was like to enter like a frat party. I've only gone to one frat party, but to enter like a tiny New York City apartment with bodies, like people, it is packed without masks. Like, how was that? We were all just sharing the same air. Everybody's sweat was touching. Like, I want to go back and see what that was like. Super carefree. But anyway, I also want to go clubbing with my friends legally. Because that dream did not come true on my birthday and on many of my friends' 21st birthdays next year. So once the clubs open back up and it's safe to go, if you still want to make 2021 resolutions, make sure you make them kind. Be nice to yourself. A new year is a perfect time for a really fresh start, but I would say just try not to make your resolutions toxic. An example of that can be wanting to lose an amount of weight that is just unrealistic, especially during the pandemic. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say pandemic during this video. If that kind of pressure on your body is extremely unrealistic, it creates a really unhealthy relationship with ourselves, eventually making us feel really guilty for not being able to complete that promise to ourselves. If you still want to have those kinds of resolutions, I would say you should do small goals to get to a larger goal. Instead of putting so much pressure on yourself and seeing that kind of like on your list or on your to-do list with such a heavy weight on it, and instead being able to cross off smaller goals. If anything, I think that we should look at our plans for 2021 and take some stuff off of our plate. Think about your priorities. How do you want to spend your time, and what's actually making you feel the happiest and the healthiest? Think about your family and your most loved ones, because there's been so much loss lately. That is one of the number one things that's gonna put things in perspective and make you think about your priorities. The other day I was trying to take a nap and I couldn't stop thinking about all the things that I had to start getting ready for next semester in terms of projects and things I want to do for YouTube, and feeling so stressed about all of these deadlines that I feel like I just can't meet made me think about the long term. What things on these lists 5 years from now or 10 years from now would I be fine without? If I did this specific project or not, Would it affect me in 5 years? Would I regret it? How do I want to spend my time my last semester at NYU? So you have to ask yourself those kinds of questions. And instead of adding things to your plate, you need to take some things off of your list. People are gonna be so extra understanding right now. So if you have to cancel some plans on people or tell people you're not gonna be able to work on a specific project, people are gonna be so understanding. So yeah, now I just can't stop thinking about the long term. What could I do without and what would I regret? All those kinds of things are just going through my mind, which is why I made this really dramatic video. Okay, well, that was my inspirational rant. I hope you liked this getup today, and I hope I inspired you to not be pessimistic, but to just put less pressure on yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please help and support my channel by giving me a like. And if you hated this video, that's fine. You can go ahead and give me a dislike as well. Subscribe to my channel for
fun content in 2021.
And also comment and let me know if I should do more of these little talky videos, because I want to know if you're enjoying them. Let me know.